Dileotheism allows for true contradiction. Here we have identity, non-contradiction, and the law of the excluded middle, where the law of the excluded middle has been broken off. Now, this is done for intuitive logics. You need an intuitive logic to kind of approach paraconsistent logic in the dileothy. And so if we come over here, here it is all together. You got that triad. Over here we have ontological, epistemological, and phenomenological. The Western canon preferences these two. The phenomenological is from your vantage point. It's where it's your subjective, right? And so in paraconsistent logic, we have justified belief, and we don't need the truth apart, right? Once again, a reiteration here. Induction, deduction, the regular models, and then abduction. Abduction is a form of induction. It's just from a bad set of information, which is why we bring up giddier situations, right? A giddier situation, how to talk about a giddier situation. That's where you see something and you can't quite make it out right, and maybe it's not scrutinizable, and so you're just kind of left with this vague notion, right? You might drive by something and see two white dots, and someone says, oh, those are sheep, and someone says, no, those are white dogs, and someone says, no, those are cutouts, right? And then as you approximate them, you become more certain, or you believe you're becoming more certain about what category those go into. So a lot of what I work on has to do with doxastic logic, right? Doxastic logic and belief, right? And paraconsistent logic, I apologize, right? You could, and this is for a very specific case that I'm bringing up there. Let me pause that for a sec. Paraconsistent logic allows for X and P, or not P and P, to exist as a contradiction, and you don't have logical explosion if you have said contradiction. Here we have monism, or the monad. People mistake that for truth, and neutral monism, which allows kind of a compatibilism of view. In another triad, you might have an orthodoxy view and then a competing new theory, a new interpretation of the same data. Then you have the consensus, and then you'd have an alternative consensus. So here I'm saying you got the self, the herd, and the other. What does the herd do? The herd runs a consensus line of thinking, and then here's a marginal theory, a secondary non-consensus, or another consensus theory. And in physics, we have what the limits of knowledge are, and so we have empirical knowledge, testable knowledge, and then hypothetical or theoretical physics. So paraconsistent logic allows P, and it runs alongside logic P and